Welcome back. Lot more to come on this show. We've got more with Jim McManus, a knee trembler, dealing school. But first, Evelyn Ng, our roving reporter, she's been playing a lot of events lately, but we finally caught up with her, and she sat down with one of the big stars of the World Series so far, Liz Lieu, to find out what is happening with Liz.
I'm sitting out here on top of the Rio Casino, looking out to where the World Series of Poker is being held, and I'm here with the lovely Liz Lieu. Liz, I just wanted to ask you some questions. A lot of people don't know that you've been a successful cash game player for a very long time. How long have you been playing poker?
I've been playing since I was 18, but not at this limit. I started off playing 2040 because my ex-boyfriend had a home game, and I helped him out. I dealt there, I ran the game, and we became partners, and that's how I started.
So Liz, I hear it a lot, and I'm sure you hear it a lot. How do you feel being a woman in what's considered a male-dominated field?
It's hard because a lot of people really underestimate women and the way they play, and I don't know, a lot of times players sit there and just stare at you, and it just makes you feel uncomfortable, but you got to get over it.
But it's also fun when you beat them, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So what about John Fan? I hear he's a very good friend of yours.
He is. He's my best friend. We've been through a lot together. A lot of people have said that he's my boyfriend, but just to clarify and to everybody, he isn't my boyfriend. He is my best friend, and he's like a brother to me.
So just to clarify, you are single, right?
I am single, yes.
So are you looking for a poker player kind of boyfriend? Or?
No, I'm not looking. I just want a nice guy. There's not a lot of them out there.
So
I just want
look
a guy.
outside of poker for the nice guys.
Yeah, well, there are some nice guys in poker as well, but I want a guy that likes me for who I am, but not for my outer looks or other intentions. So hopefully I'll find that guy someday.
You have high standards. That's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But for the meantime, I think work is my first priority.
And I know you work very hard. Sometimes you work up to 12 hours a day. I see you every day at the casino.
I do, yeah. It's a very stressful job. A lot of people think it's very easy, but it isn't. A lot of times I'm sitting there playing 20 hours, 24 hours, 2 days trying to get my money back. It's very, very, it drains your brain.
Yeah, I know you're a very hardworking woman.
I am.
But another thing is, a lot of people don't realize that you play in some really big games.
I do. I usually play 3 and 600 and 4 and 800 games, but lately at the Bellagio, they don't have a big game. Either they have games that are too big or too small. So I play 80 usually at the Bellagio if I want to play poker. But in LA, it's usually 3, 6, or 4 and 8.
Yeah, and I know you're usually the first one who wants to kick it up.
Yeah. I'm always the instigator, yes.
What would it mean to you to win a World Series bracelet?
It means to me that I'm not a donkey.
I think you know that you're not one already, but I mean, would you want the recognition that comes with a bracelet?
I do. To me, it's about the bracelet. The money, yes, it really would help, but the bracelet is more meaningful.
Men are often distracted by you at the poker table. Who distracts you when you're playing poker?
Nobody.
So Liz, if you were to have a daughter and she wanted to be a poker player, what would you recommend to her? What's your advice that you would give to her?
Oh my God, Emmy! Don't play poker in the first place.
So you don't recommend poker as a living?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
You know what, to me, it really ruins your health. It ruins your looks. It makes you...
It obviously hasn't ruined your looks, Liz.
It has. Trust me, it has. I've aged a lot in the last year. I've seen myself age. And it's because of all the days and nights that I've had to stay awake and grind and try to make money. And sometimes you forget to eat, and a lot of times you're lazy. It's stressful.
It's not an easy life,
It's
right?
not an easy life. A lot of people think it is because of all the, glory and fame. But no, my advice is poker's not good.
Run.
Yeah, run.
Well, thanks for stopping to chat with me, Liz.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Good luck in the rest of the World Series.
Thank you.
part. Jeff Duvall, highly respected player in Europe.
He's very respected in Europe. In fact, in my opinion, he's probably the best pot limit Omaha tournament player in the world. Like, a lot of people agree with me on that. But far more important, he's a great guy. Like, I met Jeff in 1998. We were both living in Paris at the time, playing in the aviation club. And, you know, football guys, I mean, from all over the world, they speak a common language. So Jeff and I became pretty close friends. We were watching football on the TV. We went to all the World Cup matches so we could get into. But when the World Cup final came around, the tickets were just through the roof. The black market was ridiculous over there. But at the aviation club, they're pragmatic. They came up with an idea. They had a satellite for a ticket for the World Cup final. So 10 of us put up like £200 each and played for one ticket. So when it came down to 3 of us left, there was me, Jeff, and some beginner. So we thought, well, at least a football fan would be going to the World Cup final. But the beginner won, of course. It seemed like a bad beat to me, but afterwards Jeff said that I'd been trying so hard in the thing that if he won, he was going to give me the ticket. Well, that's the kind of guy Jeff is. I mean, he wanted to go to the match, but if he thinks he can do some guy a favour, he'll do it.
Well, we're thrilled to have him here. 3rd place in the Omaha High-Low event that began this World Series of Poker. He had a big payout there. He's at another final table. Lots of tournaments in Europe. A top Omaha player, pot limit and high-low. Please welcome Jeff Duvall. Hi, Jeff. Jeff, congratulations, first of all. 3rd place finish just a few days ago. Were you disappointed to win? I mean, were you disappointed not to win? Has your attitude towards the silverware changed these days?
Yeah, I was very disappointed not to win. I seem to be left with the 2 worst players when it was, you know, the best players had gone out, and but then there was a big hand, and that would have given me half the chips heads up. I lost that, and I was very disappointed at the time. But in hindsight, you know, the 70 grand has helped pay for all the expenses and the bottled water.
Well, I thought he might have won it.
350 ago.
I thought he might have won it because I jet lag and went home when he was at the final table. But you know, what a lot of people don't know is when you look at tournament results and you see Jeff Duvall 2nd or Jeff Duvall 3rd, it normally means he's done a deal and he's a nice guy. He gives the other guy the trophy because the other guy really wants it. So when I woke up in the middle of the night and went down and checked the internet and saw Jeff Duvall 3rd, I thought, oh great, he's won.
Well, I mean, Jeff, that brings up something. I mean, a lot of guys, you know, who've been playing for a while, you know, start businessmen. You know, you do it for the money. But now, I mean, these bracelets are so big to win. Do you feel different?
They are not really. I'm still there for the money, and I want to make a living doing this. But it would have been nice to, because it's probably my last chance as well. It seems like every year there's more and more youngsters coming in. I've said before, you know, it's a young man's game, and mind you, having said that, the following day, like John Bonetti and TJ Clooney are in the last 4, you know, which is incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean, your games are, you know, Omaha is a very technical game, and Omaha High-Low,
yeah,
isn't it? Do you find that the new guys coming in are having trouble learning these technical games?
Yeah, they don't have so much patience. You know, with the Hold'em, there's a lot more moves, and that's a much more stressful game, the Hold'em, as well, you know. I find it much more stressful. You look up and you suddenly see 6 pairs of sunglasses staring at you, you know. Even the ones not in the pot, even the rails are looking for tells, you know. You know, so but I find the other games much more relaxed. And even after 2 days of that, you know, I was shattered. How they play in every tournament, you know.
Well, you can't do the Omaha crash course, can you? I mean, you can do a crash course on the internet in Hold'em.
Yeah, that's right.
And be quite competent after 6 months. I mean, in Omaha, you still got to.
Yeah, much more guile and the experience needed for that. Yeah, that's right.
Well, you need a course on how to read your hand. A lot of guys, it takes them nearly a year to figure out what they have. Now, Jeff, you've been making your living as a professional gambler for 4 or 5, a long time.
Yeah,
4 or 5 decades.
really, since you were a young man.
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
Well, I got into it because I got stopped playing blackjack. I was playing blackjack for a living for a number of years, both in Europe and here in Vegas. It got very tough here in Vegas. You know, you get stopped everywhere and you get barred everywhere. Your name goes in the book. And so I went back home, and it looked like it was going to have to go back to work because,
oh my God!
Yeah, no, terrible.
No,
the 4-letter word, or maybe look at poker. You know, because blackjack, they don't want you in the place, but,
right.
But poker, it doesn't matter how good you are, they they don't mind you playing. You know, so they welcome you.
I mean, there's a bunch of blackjack players who've become very successful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Is it just the mind training, or?
yeah, it gives you a lot more realism about the peaks and the troughs. You see, some of the poker players can't understand why they go a few days without winning. You know, when you've been a trained blackjack player, you know the fluctuations. I mean, you can go 3 or 4 months, you know, even with an edge, and still be a loser at the end of this. You know, so it gives you a little bit more realism when you're having the bad times.
Well, I mean, you know, Paul, you know Jeff a long time. I mean, he never shows any emotion, really. He's the most easygoing guy, isn't he? Win or lose.
Well, that's what you think. Well, he doesn't lose all that often. I mean, this guy is hugely underrated. I mean, he's probably the best pot limit Omaha player, the pot limit Omaha tournament player in the world, in my opinion.
You've been saying that now for a number of years. I haven't won one for ages.
Yeah, but you spit a lot of them.
Jeff, nerve's a big part of poker. And blackjack, of course, with the heat breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
And we've got a little game we play here on the poker show. It's called the knee trembler.
That sounds good.
To test your nerves. I mean, some people
Test your memory.
about the knee trembler. It means something different in Europe than
It does, yeah. It normally costs you about $150.
Well, here's your weapon for our knee trembler.
All right.
And we're going to ask you to go upstairs in a little while on our putting green and take a 6-foot putt to see how your nerves and your putting.
All right, okay, that sounds good.
All right, Jeff, you'll be doing that knee trembler a little later outside on the roof of our putting green. But first, something you've been waiting for, and so have I. Padraig Parkinson's Off the Wall.
Welcome to Off the Wall. This is the part of the show where you get to have your say. You've got to vote any player that you don't like off our Wall of Fame. So far we've had 2 down, and tonight we were hoping to take a 3rd one. But our lawyers have seen the show, and to be honest with you, they're in a state of shock. They've realised how much they should have been billing us from the very start. They're not allowing us to take anybody down tonight, but they haven't told us that we can't tell you who's up near the top of the poll. If you were to look in this general area on the wall, you'd see the guys who were favoured to be next down. You'll have to wait till the next show to see if we're allowed to take one. Keep the votes coming in and send them to this email address.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. This is called the knee trembler, right?
Knee trembler. Try to keep them steady.
The last time I had a knee trembler, I was worried that the wife would find out. Now it's on television.
It's rolling!
Very nice.
A hole in one.
We'll see you next time. We've got some great guests coming up, including a dangerous Swede, Ken Leonard.
Very good.
See you then. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.